we're in the middle of a party here at, at our offices, but does not mean we're going to stop working. We're going to be live with you, and we're going to have a lot of conversations, and we have a lot of important guests. U.S. Ambassador to Armenia, Richard M. Thank you for joining us today.
Honored to be here.
Happy
birthday.
Thank you, and thank you for being part of our celebrations. I wanted to ask you, what's it like working in a new republic, newly established independence?
It's especially exciting, especially for me, because Rabina, I was at the State Department 25 years ago working in the Armenian office at the State Department when independence was declared, when the new republic came into being. I remember the first visit of the first foreign minister to the State Department, and it was just a very exciting time. And now to watch what has been achieved over the last 25 years is really very exciting to me, very encouraging to me as someone who cares about Armenia. And I think everyone in the United States is very happy and proud that Armenia has achieved this 25 years of independence, and we wish much success for the next 25.
Well, now I'm really curious, what's it like for the representatives of a newly established country with almost no, previous practice in representing the country elsewhere? What were your impressions back then, 25 years ago?
One, just the history of it, just the little spine tingling that everything we were doing was the first time. The first time the free Armenia had an embassy in Washington. I remember going up in the elevator with the then foreign minister for the first visit to the State Department, and the ambassador, the Armenian ambassador, turned to me in the elevator and he said, "Remember this moment. It's the first time the representative of a free Armenia has ever met with the people of a free United States." And it was really quite a moment, quite a moment.
Yes, and now being here, we've come a long way. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of testament to that.
Yes.
But also we're talking about facing the future today. We made it our theme for this day especially. Facing the future, what do you see for Armenia?
Challenges, of course, there are, but I think it's important, especially on a day like today, to think what has been achieved. As someone who was involved at the beginning and then went off to other parts of the world to represent my nation, always watched Armenia, always kept an eye on what was happening in this part of the world. I think it's important that Armenians remember what they have achieved. Everything from just this improvement in the standard, the quality of life here compared to the early 90s. Of course, it's impressive, but an IT sector that can compete in the world, a strong civil society, a pretty strong media, which includes important voices like CivilNeT. That's key. Armenia now is an active player on the international scene through its peacekeeping operations. It exports security through its participation in peacekeeping in Lebanon and Kosovo and Afghanistan, and Armenia should be very proud of that.
I was, as a Lebanese Armenian in Lebanon, when the first group of peacekeepers arrived. It was really special.
It's quite an accomplishment. And the United States is very proud that we've been able to work and help the Armenian Peacekeeping Brigade. I was very honored today watching the parade in Public Square when the Peacekeeping Brigade went by holding the U.S. flag. That was very heartwarming, I have to say. So I think a lot has been achieved, and I think it's important to remember that on a day like this. At the same time that there are challenges. The economy is a challenge. It's a tough environment for the Armenian economy. Nagorno-Karabakh remains, of course, to me personally, a big disappointment that it hasn't been resolved peacefully, that people continue to die along the line of contact. It's tragic and heartbreaking. And to me, that's the next issue that must be tackled. We have to find a way to find an acceptable solution on NK that both sides will accept.
There's been a lot of U.S. assistance regarding development in Armenia, and some certain areas have been prioritized. But given the history, would you say there could be or should be a shift in U.S. assistance to Armenia given the new challenges or challenges that we see today that we weren't considering some time ago?
Over the last 25 years, our assistance to Armenia, we have tried to use that assistance to reflect the change in Armenia itself, the economy, the progress with reforms, the growth of civil society and good governance, so that our assistance was going to the right places at the right time. And you're right, we have targeted some things and we've seen success in those areas. IT, for instance. IT was a big focus for us, the information technology sector, the computer sector, and we worked both with the diaspora, the American diaspora. You see things like the TUMO Center, for instance, which totally a diaspora-driven program here. But we tried to create programs that would build on it. And I think we've been really successful. The IT sector is a huge success.
Enough momentum to
Yes,
continue.
so we've declared victory, planted our flag, and we don't have now programs that directly support the sector. What we are focusing now on, and I think it's something that we realized a few years ago, needed more attention, and that's rural Armenia. How to support the agricultural sector, how to get jobs to rural Armenia to end the flow of people out of rural Armenia. So again, our assistance shifted. We're focused on agriculture and we're focused on tourism, but tourism outside of Yerevan. How to get visitors to stay outside of Yerevan and visit the historic attractions that are out there. It will help develop the economy, it'll keep people from leaving, all those good things that we all want. So our flagship program right now, you may have heard, is called the My Armenia Project, and it's the Smithsonian Museum, world famous in Washington, D.C. They have opened an office here in Yerevan with USAID and embassy assistance to help create a tourism market outside of Armenia. Smithsonian has the expertise in how you sell and brand.
Armenia is very lucky to have them. I mean,
I hope so.
Smithsonian doesn't work outside.
This is the first office they've ever opened outside the United States. And I won't go into details, but we've identified sort of hubs where there's a real sizable tourist attraction and things around it. And we're going to try and develop those hubs. And the idea is if you get enough there, tourists will leave Yerevan and they'll not just visit, but they'll spend the night, they might go to dinner, they'll buy products, etc. So, and the Smithsonian is helping do that. So we're very excited about that.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for this conversation.